8 games in a row, FaZe won to gain that world championship. Now, OpTic have made changes, adding to their roster Dead Zone, formerly known as Penguin, a phenomenal player from Space Station, joins the green wall. Does it fortify the bricks, lay the foundation for a potential run at a world championship once again? Or does FaZe hold strong? Can they reestablish the dynasty of years past? This year, get ready for it. It's the E-Classico. FaZe, OpTic starts now. Eli, Mikowski, are you ready?
How could you not be after such a riveting speech? My goodness, I'm ready to run through a wall, if not get on the sticks. Eli, hop into Discord. That way we can hear your beautiful voice. As we set up for, like Tool said, El Clasico. These two teams meeting frequently last week. 3-2 FaZe Clan in the upper semis, and then 3-1 FaZe Clan in the grand finals. Eli, this week, they're taking on each other in the lower quarters. It's not even lower semis just yet. What is happening in Halo? This is way too early to be seeing FaZe versus OpTic, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you think of these two playing each other in the grand finals, not the losers quarters, wherever we are. These guys, one of these teams is going to get top 6. That's absolutely ridiculous, right? But that's because they got beat. They got sent to the losers bracket. Space Station looking absolutely on fire. We're calling this El Clasico, but Space Station is like, you know what? These guys are fighting for their chance to play against us. So I don't know why you guys are talking about them. But
that's a great point. It felt right to call it El Clasico last week when they're meeting up deep in the winners bracket, deep in the grand finals. But here, I don't know, man. I felt a little wrong to use the terminology. Tools led it with it, though, so I just carried it over. But yeah, this is very early in the bracket to be seeing these two teams, both FaZe and OpTic Gaming, stumbling. Now, FaZe stumbled yesterday over Complexity, lost in reverse sweep fashion to them. They've had to win 2 series to get to this point. OpTic made it to the winner's semis, played earlier today, but lost to SSG. How could that balance of momentum affect this series as we kick things off here on Livefire, Eli?
I mean, historically, we've seen that team that's on that lower bracket run. They usually had a bit more momentum. I mean, they're coming off hot after a 3-0 and a 3-1 right behind them. So whereas OpTic just kind of lost in a crushing way, you got to wonder if the morale's there. But I mean, we're talking about OpTic, man. These guys know how to bounce back. They're not going to let that affect them. They're just going back to talking about, okay, what did we do wrong? How can we flip this and make it sure it's right? But I will say one thing is last week was the best that I think we've seen OpTic in a very long time. Formal playing absolutely out of his mind. Lucid, Trippy, Dead Zone, the whole squad was firing on all cylinders, and it still wasn't enough to beat FaZe in the end of things. So will they bring that energy? Will they be able to overcome FaZe? I'm not quite convinced just yet, but I know they are extremely talented. It just seems like FaZe always has the upper hand in these moments.
Now, keep in mind, a big reason why OpTic Gaming are in this spot are because of their lack of, I'd argue, OBJ efficiency. Winning the Slayer against SSG, but losing all 3 OBJs. A big reason why is after getting 3 or 4 down, they'd wait half a minute sometimes, it felt like, to grab control of the OBJ. And I think this kind of matches up against another team that's known for doing that a little bit, overslaying a little bit before grabbing that OBJ in FaZe Clan. So how does that dichotomy of strategy and team composition set up here as we kick things off your Elimination quarterfinals once again between FaZe and OpTic?
Always so interested to see the opening strats between these teams because they've played against each other on these maps so many times now. They've seen every playbook each other have to throw at them. Is there any way they could potentially surprise one another? Who's going to pick the right plays off the break? And right now it's OpTic who earned some early hill time. It looks like they might also earn the camo. If they can shut down Royal 2, they'll have every part of the opening in their favor.
Lucid did miss the headshot, but he got the body shot on camo. Formal was able to clean that up. I believe it was a burn situation. 99 probably would have switched to a POV with camo had that not been the case. So OpTic are able to burn camo and earn the early edge in the lead. Royal 2, though, with the snipe to work with. Formal at an important position on the map at that sniper nest bridge area. As Dead Zone reclaims it for OpTic. Royal 2 with the snipe in his hands on the pillar, looking to push up takedown. Dead Zone gets fragged out by Frosty. Royal 2 going to clean up here on Lucid. And for now, FaZe Clan have the edge in numbers and this lead.
Good patience from Royal 2. We saw Lucid hit those pillar peak plays earlier. A little bit of alliteration for you guys. But he gets taken down by Royal 2. Royal 2 sees ahead of it. And FaZe have a ton of time. This is early. If they can get this cap, OpTic is already thinking about having to rotate to the tower. But right now, Royal 2 is not going to make it easy.
Royal 2 never makes it easy for you, as it looks like FaZe should secure, if not even a rotation to hill number 2 after 3 go down for OpTic Gaming. FaZe are in fact going to be set up strong here. OpTic Gaming spawn out over on the A side. Hill rotates to C, and FaZe already have it, but OpTic are doing a good job pushing through mid, taking down 2. As Lucid drops down to low shields, OpTic looks to reset here, not allowing what looked like a good early rotation from FaZe.
Excellent work out of OpTic to not give FaZe a free setup. Took 2 members of them down. But as I say that, 3 going down for OpTic. Dead zone behind the tower, but I think FaZe know about it. It's going to actually just wait here for a moment. We remember that insane play from Renegade looking through the staircase to shoot the jump up down there. It's not awarded the chance to even look down there, so Dead zone might be able to show up here and take this kill.
I think those chase grenades Renegade was throwing indicated, like you said, Eli, that they were aware of the flank from OpTic, and you can see 2 green X's there. Lucid, the last member alive on the C side for OpTic, as he's earned a slay and enough time here to allow for his teammates to push through and take down a few members of FaZe as well. Trippy and Dead Zone combined for a double. Lucid, a team triple, takes down 3 for FaZe, and it's everybody gets there. That's almost like a team overkill there. Everybody accounting for 1 slay. Everybody playing their 25%. That was a nice sequence there from OpTic Gaming as they've regained control of C. FaZe Clan spawning at the back of A. How can they push through? Previously, we saw OpTic push through the top mid location. FaZe, though, working on the periphery of the map.
If Formal can snipe like we saw him snipe last week, this could be very good for OpTic to tie up the score. He's already hit 1 headshot. Slow down Frosty on the cuts with a body shot. Facing heavy fire, unable to connect with another, but this hill looks to be almost finished by OpTic. It is, and it's FaZe that are now rotating to the next hill.
Strong regain there from OpTic as they tie things up here at 1. Hill rotates to A, and that's going to cause Formal to have to push out off this snipe tower location. Now he's sitting on the camo side. Dead Zone causing chaos as he's doing a number of damage on the members of FaZe Clan. Last player alive is Frosty in the back, and he goes down. Royal 2 with a quick spawn up, though. Gets right back in the fight, but that's a little bit, all things considered, of an overextension. A 1-by-1-by-1 push for FaZe Clan, and OpTic, they're going to take advantage of that to get about halfway on the scoring here on hill number 3.
Kind of a funny kill on Royal 2. He hits the curb slide to go over Dead Zone, but Dead Zone repulses him to the ceiling, opening enough space for Formal to finish the kill. Renegade's going to find an opening, but his whole team is going down. Royal 2 trying to stay alive down here is ultimately taken down, as is Renegade, and it's OpTic with another chance to close this hill out. They're just going to have to get a couple slays to do so.
And I think because of that previous series loss where they went down 3-1 to SSG, losing all the OBJs, it is imperative that OpTic Gaming get on the board early in this series with an OBJ win here in Game 1 as they secure the lead and hill number 3. Very convincingly. Not much time at all there for FaZe, if any. And look at this. OpTic Gaming rotate. You'd fold the map in half. That's where this next hill point would be, and OpTic Gaming are already on it at the 25% mark, no less, and they got the setup here. Lucid on the Nest Bridge. Renegade, though, looking to dismantle that from the top of Snipe.
FaZe making one of the biggest errors you can make in King of the Hill, where you die at the same time your opponents are capping the hill. It just makes it too easy for your opponents to then rotate and give themselves a good chance to secure the next hill as well. And it's been a staggered spawn cycle for FaZe for quite some time now. OpTic seemingly one step ahead. The stagger continues as Formal spawn kills Frosty, and Trippy looks to secure a third hill in almost as much time as the hill has been active. Wow.
My goodness. Yeah, if there's any downside, I'll play devil's advocate to the efficiency that OpTic Gaming has shown here as they take a 3-1 lead. They're going to actually potentially wait out that final millisecond, pulling some big brain strategy, at least delay it enough to where Frosty has to push up to mid. But if there's any positive to the efficiency for OpTic Gaming for FaZe Clan, it's that OpTic Gaming has left plenty of time left on the clock. 2.5 minutes left in regulation, as OpTic have a 2-0 lead, and with 3 down, FaZe are going to have a chance to take early hill time as Frosty takes the face at dead zone with a ridiculous jump shot no scope.
Frosty's trying to get his team back into this. Not having a game so far, but looking to shift the momentum with this sniper. He's going to hit some headshots. They continue. This man's absolutely on fire. And if they can secure this hill with still 2 minutes remaining on the clock, that's going to look good for a potential FaZe comeback.
I'll say it. We have eyes on first-person POV of the best sniper in Halo Infinite. That's Frosty. No-scope body shot. Meticulously takes down the opposition for the killing spree. FaZe, after 2 in a row there for OpTic Gaming, look like they're going to at least get 1 on the board to make it a 2-3 game. One final push here from OpTic, or do they concede this, Eli?
I don't know. It looks like, I mean, there's no point to completely concede it. They don't want to overcommit to trying to stop it. They're actually going to get out of the hill and try to fight for camo, as both teams do. But it's OpTic committing what I called the worst mistake you can make in Halo Infinite. That's dying as the hill transitions, and 3 were dead as FaZe finished that hill. So I believe a member of FaZe should be getting away with the camo. And Frosty still has 2 snipe bullets to work with.
Could be 2 headshots from what we've seen from Frosty. Nice positioning, though, from dead zone as the flank takes Frosty off guard and takes him down as Formal earns the slay. Dead zone filling in with his support role. Doing a great job of that in that moment. As Royal 2 pushes on through the A sandbag side of the map. Dead zone, he's got to worry about him. Oh my gosh, Royal 2 had that push figured out by Dead zone. Read it like a book through the walls. Through his game sense and communication, able to take note and have full awareness. Nothing from OpTic Gaming there took FaZe Clan off guard. Because of that, they have control of the hill and the lead on hill number 6, as this one's getting deep into the action. Less than 2 to go.
Process being played by OpTic. Shout out to that YouTube series, The Process by OpTic. Always a great watch to see behind the scenes. These guys' mentality so strong, but they're going to need a strong mental to secure this victory, as FaZe has had a surge. Looks like they do finally get some slays to slow down the momentum from FaZe in this game, and Renegade's going to try to stop OpTic from getting any more time. Just holding this nest position, which is so important for this hill, probably the most important position on the map. He gets taken down. Member of OpTic going to try to fill that void so they can watch over the hill themselves.
90 seconds left on the clock. This one was virtually tied on this particular hill, but now OpTic, after a nice stretch of gameplay, numbers advantage has turned into an advantage on this hill, but FaZe have their push. 2 on the backside of B, split on the pillars as well, as they start to dismantle this OpTic Gaming roster. 2 go down. FaZe, like a SWAT team, efficiently all stay alive until Royal 2 goes down from the nade from Matt. As both teams on the verge of scoring here. This could end things for OpTic or tie things up for FaZe.
This play all started with Trippy with some phenomenal shots. Got 3 players weak. Snakebite, last player, able to stop this. His teammates are now off spawn. Trippy getting a double kill, tries to turn 3, but OpTic only need a few seconds. Wow.
That'll do it. OpTic, despite a nice stretch run there from FaZe, made you sweat, made you tighten up a little bit if you're an OpTic fan watching at home, but OpTic Gaming, and this is exactly the challenge we placed in front of them as this series started, needed to get off the front foot with the 1-0 win after some of the objective disefficiency. I don't even know if that's a word. That we saw in the previous series. We're just going to throw it out there. Whatever.
Inefficiency.
Inefficiency. There we go. As OpTic Gaming take game 1 and do so rather convincingly. They seem to have control of the most of that match. FaZe made it close, but OpTic Gaming really never had much to fear, as they looked really good off the start here. They take the game 1 win.
Definitely some moments of brilliance throughout this game from FaZe, but it wasn't enough. OpTic seemingly having control of the map at the times it mattered most. Frosty finally brought his team back into it with some amazing snipes, as we saw here. The snipe spree, some insane headshots, but ultimately was not enough. Look at this no scope. That was probably my favorite one of the whole spree. Just lines it up. One of the tougher shots to hit. This one an easier shot. I feel like a lot of people can hit that one, but regardless, you got to ice up when it matters against one of the best teams in the world. This killing spree certainly gave his team a chance, but it was OpTic always one step ahead.
Plasma Pistol continues to impress here, leading into HES Season 3 as Royal 2 put that to good work. I think another great Plasma Pistol player in the HES, which sounds weird to hear out of my mouth. But Lucid, another player that's deadly with the Plasma Pistol. As we kick things off here, Solitude Game 2, tied 2-all. As Frosty looks to separate. No, 3-3. A really mixy here opening break. Nobody able to get much use out of things like the camo or the shock. The shock actually still up on its spawn point as Renegade earns the assist. And FaZe edge out an early lead here, 4-3.
It is FaZe that have the shock rifle. Probably Frosty, the one over there with it. No, Frosty's over here. Must be Snakebite. Snakebite, the one with this gun. And we talk about all his teammates being amazing snipers, but he's a phenomenal sniper in his own right. Absolutely. And he's opting to just hold this side of the map. If you can control this snipe side of the map, it makes it a lot more difficult for your opponents to get any space for free. You have so much vision of the entire map, but right now taking a more defensive approach, not going to expose himself too much, doesn't want to give away his location. This position not nearly as powerful if the other team knows you're here, so he's going to opt to reposition while his teammates try to keep him alive.
Snakebite maintains his life. Has a repulsor to grab. The option's up. Looks like he'll take it while retreating to the back of S1. Royal 2 pushing in the back of A for the double, but no, has to reload instead. Trippy takes it, but FaZe take the lead, 10-9.
It's definitely back and forth. Snakebite has stayed alive for quite some time. Only fired 2 bullets of the shock so far. OpTic really not giving anything away for free. So impressive the way OpTic has been able to mitigate any potential sightline for Snakebite to do anything. Right now he's going to reposition and look like it was a trade slightly in OpTic's favor. That's going to tie things up at 12-all.
This match has now reached a stalemate. If not for that opening break headshot from Snakebite, that should push out the rest of FaZe. Looking to clean up on the damage as they do. 2 go down, Lucid and Trippy. Snakebite, potential 360 metal here. Nope, does not hit the shot. Doesn't have a chance to. As Formal makes it away, not before Dead Zone trades out, and Formal eventually goes down as FaZe Clan sort of chase their way through from C to A to take down OpTic Gaming. World 2 on the hotel side of the map. Snakebite, how long has he been alive with this shock rifle? It's not that he's gotten a lot of slays with it, but just the simple possession and extended life with it is impressive enough.
He's showing off his skills with the double jump as well. Definitely recommend you guys to practice that in your own games. Just easier to get to that position, a bit safer. Don't have to expose yourself nearly as much to other sight lines as you do that jump. Snakebite's still just looking for shots. He's only found a handful of them. Finally gets taken down. Lucid able to somehow sneak into the snipe side, shuts him down at the perfect time to do so because the next shock rifle is up on its spawn point. We'll have to see if he can successfully survive with it. Looks like FaZe are going to try to stop him from doing so.
Lucid thrusts vertically. It doesn't get him out of harm's way, but despite that, still maintains 25% shields. Now back up to full shock rifle to work with, and we know what Lucid can do with it. Season 1 MVP lining up his shot. A weak Renegade gets cleaned up instead by Trippy. Lucid sets his sights towards the cafe side. Royal 2 goes down to 1 HP, but Trippy is 2. Bait and switch opportunity from long range for Lucid, but he's not able to secure any of these shots. Finally hits a body coming up the lift, but that is a chaotic sequence there from Lucid, forced by FaZe, and they've now forced the snipe back in their hands. They have the biggest lead of this game, 25-21.
Man, Lucid just having a hard time there. The pressure is so great from FaZe. If you're constantly getting shot out of scope, it can become so difficult. Also, just the movement from the members of FaZe make it harder for them to be hit. Frosty, though, with his first shot of the shock rifle, able to land a headshot. Also trying to secure this camo. Actually decides to finish the kill before proccing the camo. I like that play because even if he dies there, he leaves the camo behind for his teammate while that opponent's one shot. Just further increases the odds that his team gets value out of it. He's going to hit the no scope and hit the slide around to juke Formal. Somehow turns 2 in a spot that I don't think many people would have got a double kill there.
I don't think so, Eli, as Frosty's doubled up just about on his kill-death ratio. 11, 3, and 6 here in this Slayer, really leading the charge in this lobby. Most slays by a pretty wide margin, all things considered, as FaZe have a 1-team wipe lead. And that's enough, though, for OpTic Gaming to get back in this. It's 1 possession separating these 2 teams, but now it's back to 6. 2 team wipes now needed to get back in this one comfortably. And after 2 go down, it's back to 3 kills. And 1 fell swoop. OpTic Gaming are right back in this. And if they can keep this within 1 possession heading into the 40s, they'll be close enough to take a late game-breaking heroic win. They might just even take the lead before that. FaZe have back A spawns. OpTic Gaming have the front foot, but FaZe have the defense. Formal goes down. 3 go down for OpTic Gaming, and despite back foot spawns, for FaZe, they've done a pretty good job to push out of it, maintaining just a 2-kill lead now, though.
You have to think OpTic could have got a little bit more out of that. Formal kind of overextending through the driveway. Renegade sees through it, but it's OpTic still rolling. They predict the next set of spawns as well, being the last members alive in the last engagement. That means they have the awareness of the most likely spawn point of their opponent. Trippy with some great shots to not only secure 1 kill, but do enough damage for his teammate to secure another. And both teams going to fight heavily for the snipe side of the map. Both camo and shot coming up. The 6-minute mark always so crucial on this map.
Halfway through this match, tied 38 all between FaZe and OpTic Gaming as they'll vie for map positioning and sandbox control with a couple of slays here. Frosty goes down to 1 HP. Royal 2 down to low shields, but he regroups, reshields, repositions here on the Ben side of the map. Formal with that opening break snipe, though. I never even saw Formal with the shock. It's a shock to me as OpTic Gaming have now reclaimed the lead, up 2.
And look at this. Formal just watching the bridge that he knows FaZe must cross to get to the camo. Looks like Trippy, the one able to get away with the camo. Formal drops the shock rifle there for a teammate. I don't know. It must be the camo player walking over to grab it. And it's Lucid. Yeah, Lucid, the one that got the camo, and he gave the shock. Both teams slowing to a crawl. FaZe know exactly what's going on. They know a camo player's lurking with shock, so they're not going to give anything away for free. Lucid's going to have to try to find a target without being spotted out.
Lucid previously missing all of his shots with the shock rifle, but he needs to ice up now, needs to hit these shots. OpTic needs Lucid to be that Season 1 MVP that they remember, as Lucid pushes in with the shock aggressively, lands the body shot on Royal 2. Dead Zone cleans up on Renegade. Cross shots from the truck side from Frosty is going to take Formal down to 1 HP. Lucid looks back at it, and Snakebite goes down to Dead Zone. What a nice push here from OpTic Gaming, cleaning up through the A side of the map. That's going to flip the map, as Lucid could close the door here for OpTic Gaming, but instead, no. Trippy's gonna go down. Dead Zone goes down. Formal goes down. Lucid has no more shock rifle shots to work with, and FaZe are now just down 2, and they have the situation OpTic previously had, pushing into the back of A, cleaning up on those spawns. 43-45. FaZe down 2.
My God, the perfect counter push from FaZe. It's now tie game. This could go either way, but it's OpTic that are the ones spawning on the tram side. And can FaZe replicate the same push that OpTic just did to them? If they could, this could close out the game right here.
I'm sorry. I'm letting Formal hold on to the shock as Dead Zone says, hold this hell. Back smack on his rival Frosty. 2 go down for FaZe Clan. OpTic are surging in the end game. Lucid takes down Renegade. Snakebite down to half shields, looking to tech jump his way up to the high ground. Hopefully stay alive here for FaZe, as Royal 2 doesn't have much help, has half shields to work with. He'll go down. Trippy finds Snakebite, and Lucid has another camo. This can close the door. It does. OpTic Gaming come back and take game 2 by 5.
Oh my God. El Clasico continues to deliver. It's now FaZe down 2-0 in the series. This is not what we expected in a match for top 4, mind you. FaZe on the brink of their lowest placement, I think, in how long?
Ever?
Since the game came out, have they ever placed this low? I don't think so. And
you know, I remember some of those early online tournaments where they were going plus 30 on CTF and Pyrian and losing games. I think they might have had a top 6 then, but FaZe doesn't look like that anymore. They're a much better team from when they first formed, but potentially still staring at a historically low result here. And not the week you want to do it. I guess if you were to have a bad week, maybe this would be the week you'd argue because the major qualifiers next week. But I don't know, man. I think you want to go into next week on all cylinders firing. Right now, FaZe back against the wall. But this is when they're most deadly. How often have we seen FaZe play their best Halo and they're down 0-2 in the series. That's exactly the deficit they face here against OpTic.
Very curious to see that series layout. I mean, looking at these plays here, Lucid making up for a few missed shots with the previous shock rifle. Is such a big body shot to get right there on Frosty in the middle of that play, by the way, just to keep Frosty from stopping the push. But then FaZe fight right back with a great push of their own. This was just so back and forth in the end game here. It was really hard to tell who was going to take it. Somehow OpTic playing flawlessly at the end. This bait right here from Dead Zone, so smart, just hiding around the corner, knows FaZe are likely to push that angle. That back smack really opened things up for OpTic, and so far they're winning the chess match.
So this is not a best of 7 like we saw at the World Championship, but this feels a lot like that Grand Finals where OpTic won the first 2 games in a row convincingly, and then FaZe rung off 8 straight. They're only going to need 3 here, which is why, again, you know, casters always talk about the reverse sweep, but this really feels doable here for a FaZe clan that's done it before.
You know what also feels doable to me, though, is a OpTic recharge Strongholds victory, because this team is very good at this game type. I mean, both are, right? It's really just going to be who gets the momentum and who holds on to the momentum for longer. I think both teams at different stages of this game will have trip caps and probably get a long sequence of time, but who will be able to have a longer stretch of control? Right now, OpTic looking favored to do so.
And Eli, the levels are getting so high here in Halo Infinite throughout these 3 weeks of regional competition. You see a top 8 finish here in NA, and you might even get excited about that because there's so many cracked teams in NA, but then you forget there's Mexico surging. They seem to have the best performances they've had lately. EU has 2 contenders in FaZe and Quadrant. So my goodness, man, the thought of a FaZe or an OpTic not reaching top 8 because of going down to at a major to one of those teams, it's possible. It sounds crazy, sounds faded, but here we are. Top 6 going to be FaZe or OpTic. Not a placing that we would expect from 2 of these NA juggernauts, as FaZe back are against the wall, needing a win here in game 3 as we kick things off with World 2.
All eyes on FaZe Clan and OpTic right now. Shout out to 10K combined viewers between the Twitch and YouTube live streams. All the OpTic and FaZe fans out here watching to see how this one goes down. I don't think many people would expect OpTic to be in the lead so significantly. Probably expected to at least be tied in the series, and it's OpTic continuing to roll as they get several dead, and they're the first scorers in this game.
And you love to see it. LVT Halo in the community coming up with records week after week, as I believe that's a record for us. 10K plus combined viewers, as we got a barn burner here. 2-0 lead for OpTic Gaming, but it's been much closer than the series score reflects, as 2 go down on each side. Renegade looking to push through the needles before Dead Zone and Trippy push through into the Dorito, looking to regain an advantage with that grenade. A 1v2 takes down Renegade, and look at OpTic set up here strongly on this goal side of the map. Frosty's going to have no choice but to back down. Lucid on the flank takes him down, and OpTic Gaming are swarming.
Trippy staying alive in one of the hardest parts of the map to do so for long enough for his teammates to play bodyguard. He is finally taken down. That is the opening FaZe was looking for. Dead Zone with the drop shot. That's a tech that we see a lot of these top players use in the middle of a fight, dropping off an object. Sometimes your downward velocity can throw off your opponent's aim. Dead Zone winning the fight with that tech, but leaves himself in a vulnerable position. Now it is OpTic still in the lead. FaZe only able to get 2 after getting a few kills there.
Little bit of a blender even, and I like this play here from Snakebite. Just knows, even whether it's a Slayer or a Stronghold, you're getting a little blendered. Slow things down. Slow down the pace of play as Snakebite regroups with his teammate Frosty. 2v2 down the side. OpTic Gaming win it outright as they take down both Frosty and Snakebite. Renegade on the opposite side of the map looking to flip C. This is going to be difficult. He's down to low HP. He has help. Dead Zone has the shock. He's pretty deadly with it. And he's just going to keep FaZe out of it simply by shooting the metal platform. Now tosses the snipe back to who I think should have had shock the whole time. Formal.
Does it because he's got the camo? I mean, let's face it, all these guys can snipe. You might as well give it to the guy that's invisible. They're going to hit more shots because they're not going to face as much pressure. So, of course, they're going to hand it off. And look at this. Formal already putting it to work. He's going to also quickly rotate into the tower to stop this rotation to A. He wants to play basically bodyguard for A here so his teammates can cap it. Only got 1 shot of the shock rifle left, but if they can convert A, they can get back into the scoring position.
Formal doing such a great job. He's an important, prioritized player on the map with that shock rifle. He goes down. It could flip possession of the shock into FaZe's hands, but no. FaZe have not been able to break through. These are 5 chances now, 5 pushes out of the C side of the map, and OpTic Gaming have won the last 5. Starting off hot again as Dead Zone earns the 5th kill for a killing spree. Cross map, double kill with the commando as he looks to push on through the glass side, long haul side of the map. As OpTic Gaming looking way too strong here for FaZe, but we know in Strongholds, there's always a chance to come back.
It's always so crucial to shut down those first couple pushers, and OpTic have done it every single time. This push out of Seaside, you have to be so meticulous. You've got to go through long haul and tower simultaneously. You've got to get some safe damage down across the map, work together. But if one of your players dies immediately, as members of FaZe have every single time, it just slows the push entirely. And right now, OpTic have played it perfectly.
Dead Zone still maintaining the commando at the top of gold. What a job he's done to lock that area down. Eventually goes down. 2 down on each side. But OpTic still retains control of the scoring. They flip the map on its head, but it does no damage in the sense that FaZe Clan are not able to break through. 2 go down again. This has been domination here from OpTic Gaming. Looking to close out the series emphatically. Trippy with a double. Looking for a triple. Has 2 players down to 1 shot. He cleans up 1 and realizes his play now is to back up, satisfied with the 3 down from FaZe. He's going to allow, I believe that's Renegade, to push on through, and that's all bait. OpTic Gaming dominant here. Despite that, FaZe are able to capture A, but OpTic quickly flips C so that FaZe don't get any scoring for their efforts.
And look at this, Trippy and Lucid working together to protect B. They don't care that they lost A because they flipped C. As long as they protect these 2, they're good to go. Dead Zone with the camo, and it's another 3 dead for FaZe. Renegade, last player alive, stuck by himself at the Mangler. He's going to get taken down here shortly, I have to imagine. Yes, Formal's going to shut him down. Lucid with the shock rifle, and they're going to set this right back up. They actually force the spawns into gold, and they're going to maintain C position, and as B flips, they flip A.
FaZe beat OpTic twice in the bracket last week. Grand Finals, no less. As OpTic Gaming, you talk about a revenge grudge matchup here between OpTic and FaZe. They look like the hungrier team. They look like the team that's playing with more pace, and that was sort of the reason they lost to SSG earlier. Their pace was just so lethargic and slow. Now it's very quick, sporadic, agility fueled as Lucid has the shot and the grapple to work with, but he goes down. Frosty looking to clean up on 2, grab the shot for his own, and this to me, Eli, is the win condition to come back for FaZe right here. Frosty with the grapple and the shot.
Yeah, but it might be too little too late. Yeah, I mean, OpTic just need to win 1 more sequence and suddenly they win the game, right? So it's going to have to be perfect Halo from here on out, and it's very rare that these teams can hold a lead as long as OpTic has against one another. This next camo, Frosty's going to be pushed off of his sightline. He's going to have to rotate, see if he can stop this camo or grab it for himself. Uses the grapple to grab it safely. This is definitely looking good. These are definitely the conditions for a potential comeback. But if OpTic can find one way to break in, it's going to be all she wrote.
Frosty, the last player alive. Crucial slay. Crucial double on Lucid and Dead Zone. Almost single-handedly keeps FaZe Clan in it and allows Royal 2 to trade out on Matt. Frosty needs 1 toe into B to reset it, but there's a member of OpTic in it. And Frosty goes down. Lucid. Despite that, they are able to take B, but Lucid will take it right back in addition to that shock.
That was exactly the push they needed. I think OpTic need to just go to A here, but no, there's spawners of FaZe in A, so they're going to go C instead. Great play by them. They take 2 dead, and I think that could be the end of the game. I think it was too little too late for FaZe. Only a few more slays, and this one's over.
Is this the best we've seen OpTic Gaming this HCS Season 3 preseason, Eli? Because I would say so, especially against the likes of their bitter rival FaZe. A 3-0 win here to not only... This isn't a 3-0 win in the winter finals like we're used to seeing. This is a 3-0 win to send FaZe home. What do you think? Is this the best we've seen of OpTic so far?
It's looking like it, man. They're just winning every single engagement. They're rotating ahead. They're predicting the moves of FaZe, and they scrimmed each other recently without comms, and to me that says they are formulating strategies specifically against FaZe so that they can beat them in ways like this. But this isn't over yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still 11 points left for OpTic as 4 go dead. Now FaZe are looking to hold that same AB setup that they lost to OpTic early on.
And FaZe have to make sure they grab A. Spawning OpTic over at C means OpTic should start the scoring there. There they do. They reset C, I'd imagine. It's at the 90% mark, now fully there. 239 and a rolling 90 to FaZe Clan. And you're right, Eli, in that scrim, 7-7 after 14 games, 1,002 kills for FaZe, 1,000 kills in that scrim for OpTic Gaming. These two teams could not be more close, despite what the series score reflects. We expect FaZe to show some fight here at the end, potentially forcing a massive Strongholds comeback. There's one way to do it. Renegade with a double, making a triple on Lucid. No, but Lucid takes enough damage to allow Frosty to clean that up for the spree. And now FaZe Clan could potentially earn a trip cap. They do. FaZe are surging right back.
The desperation is starting to be palpable on the side of OpTic. Yes, they have such a massive lead, but they know they still have to close it out. FaZe, if they continue to hold off the push, can close this out right here, right now. They do get a few kills on FaZe, but look at the defensive effort. The grenade comes in perfectly from Renegade to kill Lucid and get dead zone to one shot. Trippy trying to control A by himself, but he's going to have to win a 1v1. He does. He kills Snakebite, but the rest of FaZe are going to push in. I think off of this small perceived opening by OpTic, they're going to try to push in, but no, they slow it down. They're going to play their process. They're going to play patient. Probably send a player through long. Yes, this player gets into gold. It's dead zone with a massive kill. Make it 2. And that could be exactly what OpTic need to close this game out.
Massive. You had to take down Frosty there. Frosty was the man with the shot. He was watching the crossover to A, and now A is in control of OpTic because of that takedown by Dead Zone on Frosty. Could just spur OpTic Gaming to a 3-0 victory here in the Elimination quarterfinals. Yes! FaZe will go down 3-0. OpTic Gaming take it, and we'll move on in this tournament. FaZe go home in 6th place.
Wow. Technically tied for 5th, but my God, we did not expect a 3-0. This is normally a series that goes the distance. OpTic coming out swinging. Livefire, King of the Hill, shutting FaZe down every step of the way. That miraculous game 2 comeback that was back and forth the whole time. And then, wow, they had what, a 220-11 lead in this game.
Yeah.
FaZe showing tons of fight back, tons of resistance, but ultimately, like we said, too little too late. OpTic, congratulations. They're going to move on to your top 4.
All right, GG's in the chat from the players and GG's from myself and Eli. It's been a fun day casting with you guys. Still half of the way to go. We're going to have Active and Why Not on the other side casting the rest of the way. Eli and I will fire up some watch parties on our stream, so make sure to come over and say hi to us, earn some drops all the while as we send things back to the desk. See you guys next week for the major qualifier. Until then, enjoy the rest of week 3.